Hello, this is Lyric Armstrong, your real estate agent and advocate. Today, I just want to talk about the state of homeownership based upon 2021's fourth quarter numbers and generational wealth. Okay, how are we going to make a difference in the generations to come in their wealth building process, in their ability to have financial stability if we current day are not making the investments we need to make? So I'm trying to help you put some money in your pocket, right? Put some money in your coffers. Maybe you have your great uncles might have said way back when. So just a little bit of snapshot. I don't want to go too far into this presentation. It's one of my presentations I give on a personal basis. So I'm not going to get knee deep in it, but it just lets you know who I am, multi-years experience, over a decade of experience. First VP of Consolidated, board member of the oldest minority trade association. I'm a paralegal, and I am certified, okay, real estate professional in short sales, foreclosures, probates, trust, commercial real estate, residential, yada, 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 everything. And for the state of housing, we'll look at some of the numbers kind of Black centered, but also we'll look at the numbers for others. Just want you to make sure that you know who NARAB is. These are people that have fought for you, NARAB, CVR, as well as KRAB and other organizations. They are collectively just going by realtors, okay? So when you hear realtors, you need to clap. I tell you this all the time. This is the one you need to be connected with. We are your advocates. I am your very own real estate advocate, and I am a realtor. So, and I can help you throughout the nation of the United States, and we'll work on beyond, okay? We're fighting for democracy in housing, and we have the Sheba report on NARAB.com that gives you these numbers in quite multi-depth. But this is where we want to talk. We want to talk right here with the census. This is the page pulled straight out of the Census Bureau. I have heard numbers coming from, I think it was NAR, 50-something%. They were saying Black homeownership was 43.4%. I don't know if they're trying to take a compilation from the year, but we don't play fast and loose with numbers. That's not what I do. I give you the numbers just as raw as they come, okay? So the number is what the number is. No fancy calculation on top of calculation on top of calculation. I don't need you to go back to mathematics and try to figure out where the square root of anything is. Right now, here and now, let's get it straight. These are the numbers directly from the Census Bureau. This is their, is a screenshot of their table. No one else put this table together. No one else came up with the additions and the multiplications and the divisions and the, no, we didn't do the average of the year. We told you exactly what it is. So let's not play no games. How did homeownership end in 2021? Quite simply, 65.5% home ownership for the United States as a whole. That's what this yellow is. And then 74.4% for non-Hispanic whites in their group, and African Americans, 43.1%. Asians, 61.2%. Fourth quarter closeout. Dead anything else? Trust and believe me, these are your numbers. Go to the Census Bureau. You can look it up for yourself. You will see this very exact table. There is no presentation otherwise. And what you can see, if you look at 2021 in and of itself, you see that United States homeownership, it did take a downturn from the first quarter to the second quarter, but the second and third quarter stayed strong, and the fourth quarter came up from the third. So it went to a rise. Us overall homeownership, non-Hispanic white homeownership, 73.8 for the first quarter, to 74.2 for the second quarter. A slight decrease by 20th point at 74 even for the third quarter, but up at 74.4 for the fourth quarter. So overall trends is up for non-Hispanic white alone. Black home ownership, first quarter for 2021, 45.1, down 44.6 in the second quarter, up almost a point, but it was just 0.6 different. At 44 even in the third quarter, it went back down just a sixth of a point. And then down again at 43.1% in the fourth quarter. So the trend for Black home ownership is down. When you started in the first quarter, you're down 2 points when you ended in the fourth. I don't know what that crazy number was that the realtor organization was trying to tell you, but I don't want to play no funny games. I'm not trying to take the 4 and average it out. I'm telling you what the trend is. I'm showing you what is stated by the Census Bureau. I don't control the Census Bureau. I can't knock on their door and tell them to add this number here, put a point there, divide it by 2 and add, multiply by 3. I can't do that. They're going to tell me what the number is. I can't tell them. So here is the number. We're not playing fast and loose. This is what the number is. And I'm hot. I'm heated. Yes, I'm yelling. I'm mad because it's down. It's down to 43.1%. Whoever told you 43.4, 43.3, they're lying to you. It's 43.1. 43.1. And whoever told you non-Hispanic whites was in the 50s, they lied to you. You're not that close. You're not only 10 points away from the non-Hispanic whites. No, you're not. It's 74.4. 74.4. Look, I ain't even going to pretend. I'm not even going to play. I'm not going to even accidentally give you the wrong number because you're going to be mad at me because I'm yelling because somebody else is lying to you. I'm going to tell you what the truth is. Okay? 74.4 minus 43.1 is 30. Well, you can't see it. 31.3. You can do the math for yourself. You're 31.3 off, behind, not close to, not in the vicinity of, not nearby, not 10% difference, 31.3 behind. You're behind, you're back. And let me tell you how back you are, because the highest number we ever had as Black homeowners was 50%. I think that was like 06 to 08, one of those years. It was 50%. That was the highest number ever, was 50%. You don't have that number. You're at 43.1. You're behind your own record. So you're behind the curve with the next man's record, and you're behind the curve with your own record. And I'm upset about it. I'm upset not because I'm a real estate agent, not because I make money in commissions. I'm upset because I'm a Black woman. I'm upset because I'm an advocate. And I'm upset because I know generational wealth. I know generations to come. I know financial stability is dependent upon the purchase power of home ownership. It's dependent upon the purchase power of home ownership. So you buying your rings, you buying your houses. I wish you was buying your houses. You buying your rings, you buying your cars, you're renting your domain, whether it's an apartment, house, or whatever. You're setting up your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren for financial ruin. It's not about you. If you want a different result from what your parents gave you, you're going to have to do differently. If you want the same result that your parents gave you, then do the same. See, I can say my parents, my husband's parents, and my mom and dad, they gave me home ownership. They let me know that's where wealth was built. That was ingrained in me. And so we have our own home. We have income property. So my kids will have that same engraved knowledge. So there's some financial stability. I have a roof over my head. So while everybody else was trying to figure out how they was going to pay their rent for COVID, and I had to run down there to get a rent reform and memorandum. I had to talk to Maxine Waters so that y'all can get a rent reform, a memorandum, so you get a pause, because COVID done threw you out of your job and you had no money and it was hard and didn't nobody call, and then we need to get relief and stability and by all means get a stimulus check going. When we had to advocate for that, for those who were renters, I didn't have to worry about that because I had a roof over my head paid for. Praise God for that. But that is because of generations before me. Okay? Generations before me said, I'm going to fight for democracy in housing. That's the Realtors organization. Still doing it today, but they started in 1947. Fight for democracy in housing. They were advocates for the Fair Housing Act. They helped get that passed so that I could have home ownership wherever I wanted it, wherever my money could take me. While others were trying to stop you and me from owning homes, the Realtors Association came forward and fought so that we could own. Because it is where wealth is rooted. You ever think about a tree? You have all the beautiful leaves. Oh, I love my trees. We have, it looks like cherry blossoms, but they're not, because I live in Cali, we don't have the weather for it, but I can't remember what the name of the tree is, but it has that appeal. It's so pretty, especially in the springtime. During the winter time, it's just the leaves, and then during the spring, it's really pretty and pink, and I love them. I love pulling into my driveway to see the line of my pink, beautiful trees. But it doesn't start with the flower. The tree does not start with the flower. The tree does not start with the leaf. The tree does not start with the branch. The tree just barely starts with the bark. The tree starts with the roots. Where are your roots? Where are you grounded? Shame on every real estate agent who is not advocating, who is not fighting for democracy and housing. Shame on you for running for money and not making sure that Black home ownership is growing. Black home ownership is thriving, because that is where wealth is rooted. Financial freedom is rooted in home ownership, in real estate. And every last buyer, if I could just have a penny for every last buyer who told me, oh, well, I wanted a house or apartment that's completely done, because I don't want to have to put any money into it. In the year of 2018, just 2018, that 1 year, if I had a penny, I'd be a millionaire by now. My Lord, I'd have so much money. Well, I'd have more money based upon just you giving me your penny for your ridiculous backwards thinking. Stop crying over the paint color. Home Depot exists for a reason. Lowe's is there for you. Go get a paint. I've offered to paint for you. I'll help you out. If you're my buyer, we'll paint the room. Well, I'll pay somebody to pay me if I don't really feel like it. I can get my worker to paint the room. That's a few $100s. That's no money. If you would have bought in 2018, your house would be nearly double the price right now in 2022. So shame on you. Shame on you for not buying because of the color. Shame on you for, worrying about the fact that it was tiled on the countertops. Because what you did is you allowed your landlord to trick you into thinking that the granite or the quartz or the linoleum or the white pink color somehow was more valuable than your financial freedom and your generational wealth. You keep putting your money into things that don't yield you what you need, like cars, like purses, like shoes, like StockX, like Supreme. Oh my Lord. It's red and white, bro. It's red and white. Why is it so much money to buy a Supreme and a t-shirt? No, thank you. Take that money and put it aside for what's going to yield you true freedom. That's going to bless your generational heritage. That's going to be a part of your wealth building for you and your great, great, great grandchildren. Real estate. And then turn around and tell me what person you know who is of wealth that doesn't have a real estate portfolio. Show me that person, because it's only going to be one in this nation. I ain't worried about no other nation. I'm talking about in the United States. I don't have the mental capacity to worry about another nation. I'm talking about my people right here, my Black people in the US of A. So give me that one person. And lottery winners don't count because they're about to lose some money anyway. If they don't have real estate, they're not going to keep the money. But if you want to pull a lottery winner up, okay, you can pull me up one that still is of wealth 10 years later after they won, not the one that just won yesterday. They don't count, okay? Give me one person, put it in the chat, the comments, I'm sorry. I'm used to my Zoom meetings. Put it in the comment section down below. Let me know who is the person of wealth in the United States that does not have a real estate portfolio. We have a saying, monkey see, monkey do. All right, let's do that. Let's mimic the wealthy. What are they doing to be wealthy and to have their children of wealth? They're buying real estate. Don't sleep. Don't let them fool you into thinking they're doing much else. They may be inventing products. They may be, selling you Supreme and designing new designs. They got you spending all your money. But what they do with your money once you give it to them is they buy real estate. Their trusts have real estate into it. If they are a performer, you hear a whole bunch about royalties. Show me a performer that don't have no real estate. Even was it Prince, who's Joe Wooden's? He had real estate. He had property. So did Aretha Franklin. They had real estate. All of that money and still bought real estate. I'm a firm believer. If my people had to die and had to fight for something, it must mean it's a whole lot of good. It must mean it's important. Why would they fight you and try to prevent you from having home ownership if it didn't account for anything? If it wasn't important, if all you could do is rent all day long, if renting was so great and grand and so perfect for the rest of your life and your children's lives and your grandchildren's life, why do they own property and rent it to you? Why did they try to stop you from owning property? Why did they kill your ancestors from thinking that they could own property? Why did they burn crosses on their land when they owned property? Why did they paint on their cars and their garage doors when they own property? If it was no big deal, if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't account for something, if it's not important, why did people have to fight so hard, so many years, so that you could own property? So it can't be it's not important. That has to be hands down. Unless you're not on planet Earth, that can't be that. It can't be the reason why you don't buy property is because it's not important. Obviously, it's important. Take it for example. We're called the land of the free. We can laugh and joke at that. We can talk about the hypocrisy of it, but when you compare to other lands, we are the land of the free. And that freedom has a price. That freedom has to be constantly pursued and fought for. And that's what we do. We fight for democracy and housing. That's, that's what I'm advocating for. But don't sleep on it. When you talk about some other land, you want to compare it here, we are the land of the free. And a part of that is when you go to buy property, you can buy the land that it sits on. It's not owned by your government. It's owned by you. When you buy it, when you put it in your name or put it in an entity for which you control, it's owned by that entity. It's not the governmental's property. Now, there are exceptions to that. If you're talking about a park, obviously you're not buying that. That's governmental property. That's national reservation. But if you're talking about like a mobile home, you're buying the home and you think the home is attached because they got those fancy mobile homes now. It looks like it's so attached to the ground, but you're still just leasing the ground. You're not buying it. You're renting. Lease is the next term for rent. Okay, you're renting. You don't own that. But when you buy a house or a multi-unit property that is affixed to the land and the land has a parcel number and you have an APN number in that purchase, and that is a part of your purchase, you have bought the land. So when you cry about all the immigrants who fight their government to get here, to buy what you very well stick your nose up in the air for, which is the American dream of home ownership, you can't possibly tell me home ownership isn't important. But they will starve themselves to get here. They will fight to get here. They will ask for asylum. They will stay on a waiting list to get here. They will sit in cages to get here for the land of this freedom. And while you turn around mad because the lot is small, or with your nose up because you don't like the tile, or the color is just not the right color for you, as if you're buying a t-shirt or an outfit when you're buying your home, they're like, yes, give it to me. I'll go get my paint. I'll get my day worker to change this tile out and put some granite down or some quartz down. And every year they're just fixing it up, putting new investments. And if they bought it in 2018, they got double their money today, 4 years later. So it can't be, it's not important. The next thing I hear is it's too expensive. You say home ownership is too expensive, but you buy in Louis Vuitton. You say home ownership is too expensive, but you buy in Chanel. Are you crazy? You sitting up here rolling around in Land Rovers and BMWs, Mercedes, whose technology, I'm sorry, I have one, and I didn't pick it out. Let me just put it like that. I'm gonna tell you who did. I did not pick it out. It was, I drive it. I like the interior of it, but the technology of it makes me want to cry. Because I've been in other technology, other cars with better. I'm in my Volkswagen. I have a Volkswagen too. And it has some better technology than the Mercedes, in my opinion. This is my opinion, okay? So don't get your feelings hurt. But if you're rolling around in your Land Rover, your Maybach, your Lamborghini, your Rolls Royce, your Bentley, your BMW, your Lexus, and you don't have a home, you don't own titles on something, whether it's a condo or a duplex or a single family home on top of that. I ain't talking about what type. You don't have one of them, and you want to tell me that's too expensive? But you'll spend that on everything else that don't bring you much value after the fact. You'll go to StockX and bid up on somebody's raggedy old t-shirt that they had 30 years ago, in the first Jordans that ever came out. Oh boy, don't let that come out on StockX, because you're gonna bid that up, but you're gonna walk away from generational wealth. You just gonna own some shoes, some jewelry. I like nice things. I understand, but I'm not fooled. I'm not fooled by nice things, because that is what I would consider the trick of the devil, the trick of the enemy, to keep you unfocused and uncentered towards what will help your family to overcome and to grow beyond your life. You know, you want a legacy. I'm always thinking about my legacy. What is my legacy? How can I build? What am I building for my legacy? I have a legacy for my family, I have a legacy for my community. I'm always concerned about that, because when I leave this earth, what goes on my tombstone is my name. That's it. They're not gonna say paralegal, certified real estate agent, you know, this the mom. They might put mom, you know, we might even get mom of, you know, 5 kids and wife. We might get that much. But I'm not gonna get the sister of and the sister of and the daughter of and all that extra, right? So what is going to stand out is the name, because when you go to look at and visit your loved ones who passed, you're looking for their name. It's the thing you're seeking. You're looking for, where's their name? What tombstone has their name on it? And once you get to their name, the emotions that are evoked are the parts of their legacy. Who were they to you? How did they account for you? Did they consider you? Did they care for you? Did they think about you? Did they love you? Did they call you? Did they write you? How did you feel when you were in their presence? Did they leave you some money? You better keep it real. Go ahead, tell the truth, shame them. Did you leave them money, or did you leave them bills? Are they gonna be cursing you out when they get to your tombstone? They're gonna say, "Oh, thank you for the house. Thank you for the car. Now I can really do some things. Thank you, mama. Thank you, big mama." You know, what's your great-great-grandchildren? This is your big mama. This is your big mama's grave right here. She the one that left the fourplex that turned into the 5 fourplexes that turned into the 8 plexes that turned into. So I'm not saying you have to give them the world. You got to start with where you are. But if you are not helping your children set up for success, then you're setting them up for failure. You can't be neutral. Either you are helping to secure success for them, or you are failing them. It's one or the other. There is no in-between gray area. It is red, it is not. You know, it's green, it's red, it's black, it's white, it's one or the other. It is no in-between. No in-between. So prices are high. Yep, that's what they told me in 2020. I had my one of my clients. Well, I had several clients. They were all saying the same thing. Prices are getting. Oh, it was 2019 when prices were kind of going up. Oh wow, prices are really getting up there. And I think because what we're looking at was like a $400,000, $500,000 home, and they're turning up to like $600,000. It's like, oh, we're kind of getting out of the range that I want to spend. I said, well, you better hurry up and buy it. And they ended up getting sick. This one particular client. Other clients like, well, I just gotta wait. I said, you can't wait. You can't wait. I say this all the time. Buy when you can. Don't buy because the market looks like, oh, it's and this is like if you're not an investor. I'm talking about first-time home buyers. Now, if you're an investor and you got money in stacks and you can just wait, that's one thing. Because now you have money to play with. But if you're getting a loan and you're looking for down payment assistance, and you're a first-time home buyer, any one of those like first-time home buyers who, you know, you gotta put your chips together to try and make it happen, buy when you can. We can get the interest rate dealt with later. We can refi that once interest rates go back down, do that later. But buy when you can, because what happens is you see the price tags go up, and then a lot of the aid will go up too, right? The LIFA program will be in place. You'll have more funding there. You'll be able to, you have your CalHAFAs, and then you'll have your portfolio grants. Chase has great sets of portfolio grants. And so you'll have all that to go along with the prices going up. But when the prices start to go down, some of those funding sources are not as available, or you mess around and mess up your credit and you're no longer in the job market. Or I had another client who all of a sudden wasn't making the same amount of money, but they got married. Wait, how'd you do that there? How did you get married and not make the same amount of money? Oh, it's because you stopped working so many hours because now you're so in love, y'all want to go have date night. That's what it is. Was that you? Did you do that? Was that you? Shame on you, child. So this one particular client, we were talking in 2019. Him and his wife, and he's a financial advisor. He deals with finances, so this is his thing. And he's looking at the trade. He's like, Larry, we're going up there. We're in the sixes now for the same property. I said, yeah. He had gotten ill, so he took a couple months off before he can get back into purchasing the property he wanted to purchase. They're purchasing their second home too. So in 2020, it might have been like late 2019 when we finally put the offer in. We were at $700 and something thousand for his house. He ended up buying. He was like, oh my gosh, are you sure? Are you sure? I said, listen, the prices are not going down. And then 2020 came, was like, well, COVID just hit. Are you sure? Because, now the prices should go down. I'm like, no. You have COVID hitting, right? And then you have the fact that the legislators already talked about stimulating the economy. What can we do? They don't want to repeat a crisis of '08. They've learned their lesson. They're not getting ready to let that whole, bubble happen again. Now, granted, we will have correction at a later, hopefully sometime in the future. But we're not going to have that major drop of '08 happen again because the legislator's not going to let that happen. They are all working overtime. So I said, no, they're working overtime. Overtime to make sure to put money into the economy, to keep the economy going. And they have done that. They haven't put the money in as much, but the economy is still going in 2022 on a lot of those floating numbers, those pretend numbers the stimulus puts forth. Their house, $700,000 they bought it, $820,000 worth now. 120 something, over $100,000 in equity in 2 years. And then if they want to, they can refi, pull some of that equity out and buy a condo or buy some other piece of property to help continue to build their real estate portfolio. So I have ranted and raved long enough. The bottom line is the homeownership number for African Americans are visible. It is quite disappointing. It's upsetting because our ancestors are probably turning 3 and 4 times over. They have graves. And if they don't have graves, then they're definitely sitting at the throne with Jesus saying, help my baby down on that earth. They don't know what they're doing. Help my baby. Help my tribe. Help my people. Because you want to spend trillions of dollars on purchasing most of the things that are going to lose value, most of them. Few of them can be investments. I kind of picked on StockX. Yes, I know. A couple of those can be investment centered. But for the most part, you're buying it because you like it, because it's the new thing that's in. You're getting the cause doll because it's cute. I have a couple. I understand. I like them too. But if it's between that and buying real estate, you better buy real estate first. You don't turn around and not have the ability to buy real estate later because you're messing up something, your credit, your income. And that kind of happens to some people too with COVID. They, I'll buy it later because they have a nice cushion job, giving them a check every 2 weeks. And COVID came, they had to get furloughed. And I'm not being light-hearted, I'm not laughing at that, but what I'm telling you is we need to learn Learn from the past, learn from our ancestors, learn from our mistakes, learn from someone else's mistakes, learn something. Okay, help me to increase Black home ownership. Help me to even these numbers out. We're 31 point, what was it? 31.3% behind. In 2021 for fourth quarter, 31.3% behind. Now we're in the first quarter of 2022. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what we're doing in 2022. We haven't quite gotten to the end of the first quarter, but in 2021, behind by 31.3%. And that's not indicative of who we are. We're not the behind people. We are the trailblazers. We have freedom in this country because of African Americans. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, there's no more slavery. I mean, you know, systemic maybe there, but you don't have slavery outright. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. African Americans, pocket power. We have home ownership because of African Americans. Realtors Association. Hey, realtors, flip your head, do your thing. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone else. You're welcome. We fought for everybody. Yeah, we did that. We opened those doors. We trailblaze forward. We create the need for the laws to change because we speak on it. We advocate for it. We march for it. We stand for it. We put in the legwork to get it done. So you're welcome. So let's not be behind. We don't need to be behind people because we are truly the trailblazers. We are truly the frontline workers when it comes to equality in the land of the United States of America. Okay. So come and join me. Let's work together. Let's make this happen together. Let me know your numbers. Report if you say, no, Lyric, I just put 3 people in 3 African Americans in a new home. Let me know. Let's get those numbers going. If you somewhere on Google, if you ask Uncle Google who is the one person who don't have any real estate that's rich, okay, you can go ahead and put that in the comment section. I'll read it and I'll stand corrected. I don't mind being corrected. As a matter of fact, I want you to prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong that we are not behind. I don't want to see us behind no more. I want the Census Bureau to say, oh no, African Americans are leading the way. They are not behind. They are no longer behind the curve at 31.3%. They, in fact, are leading the way in home ownership. Make me wrong. I love that. Make me wrong. If you need my help, I'm here. Lyric Armstrong, real estate agent and advocate. Give me a call, email me, reach me, wherever you can find me, and I will definitely reach back out to you. I look forward to partnering with you to making this happen. Seeing Black homeownership grow, generational wealth be built in 2022 for African American generations far beyond this year, many, many generations. Lyric Armstrong, real estate agent and advocate.